how the British royal family found itself at the centre of the most talked about story in the world for the wrong reasons.
Pope Francis, known for his open and sometimes controversial views on global affairs and cultural issues, has recently made a statement that has taken the world by surprise. In a candid discussion that touched on the role of modern royalty, the Pope spoke openly about Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, and his recent life choices. Pope Francis just revealed the shocking truth about Prince Harry.
I see William and me smiling. I remember the guilt, the fact that the people that we were meeting were showing more emotion.
For years, Harry had struggled under the weight of royal expectations and public scrutiny, and it became clear that the life mapped out for him was at odds with his desire for independence and authenticity. This drastic move of stepping down as a senior member of the British royal family to carve out a new path for himself, along with his wife Meghan Markle and their children, has been both celebrated and criticized. What did Pope Francis reveal about Prince Harry? Could it shift the public perception in his favor? Join us as we delve into the life of Prince Harry and explore Pope Francis's revelation. Early life. Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, born Henry Charles Albert David on the 15th of September 1984, is a prominent member of the British royal family. He is the younger son of King Charles and Diana, Princess of Wales. Born into a life of immense privilege and public scrutiny, Harry grew up in the royal palaces of Kensington and Highgrove and was raised alongside his elder brother, Prince William. From an early age, Harry was known to the public as Harry, a name that has remained his primary identity throughout his life. His brother, Prince William, affectionately nicknamed him Harold. Harry spent his early years between two primary residences, Kensington Palace in London and Highgrove House in Gloucestershire. His upbringing was significantly shaped by his mother, Diana, Princess of Wales, who was determined to give her sons a more normal upbringing than previous generations of royals. Diana's hands-on approach to parenting was apparent in the diverse experiences she exposed her sons to, ranging from trips to popular places like Walt Disney World and McDonald's to more serious visits to AIDS clinics and homeless shelters. Diana wanted her sons to have a better understanding of the world and the struggles faced by ordinary people, which was a departure from the typical royal upbringing. Harry's first experience of international travel came early. He accompanied his parents on an official visit to Italy in 1985 when he was just a toddler. The public's fascination with the young prince was evident even then, and this interest only grew over the years. Other notable trips during his childhood included visits to Canada in 1991 and again in 1998, the latter being shortly after the tragic death of his mother. The death of Princess Diana in a car accident in Paris in 1997 was a defining moment in Harry's life. He was only 12 years old when his mother died, and the event had a profound effect on him and his brother, Prince William. The image of Harry walking behind his mother's coffin during the funeral procession, alongside his brother, father, grandfather Prince Philip, and Uncle Charles Spencer, is etched in the collective memory of millions worldwide. The trauma of losing his mother at such a young age left deep emotional scars, which Harry later acknowledged had a significant impact on his mental health. Following Diana's death, both Harry and William were shielded from the media spotlight as much as possible. Their father, King Charles, made efforts to protect them and provide stability, ensuring they continued their education and engaged in activities that allowed them some semblance of normalcy. Harry attended Wetherby School in London and then Ludgrove School in Berkshire. In 1998, he went on to attend Eton College, one of the most prestigious schools in the United Kingdom. His education was marked by a blend of academic and extracurricular achievements, though he often found himself in the headlines for less favorable reasons, such as underage drinking and experimenting with cannabis. These early controversies earned him a reputation as a rebel royal. Upon completing his education, Harry chose to pursue a military career, inspired by the long tradition of royal service in the armed forces. In 2005, he enrolled at the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst, where he underwent officer training. After his commissioning as a second lieutenant in the Blues and Royals, a regiment of the Household Cavalry, he trained as a troop leader. From 2007 to 2008, Harry served on the front line in Afghanistan's Helmand province, becoming the first royal family member to see active service in a war zone since his uncle, Prince Andrew, served during the Falklands War. Harry's experience in the military had a transformative impact on him. He expressed pride in serving his country and found camaraderie among his fellow soldiers. His time in Afghanistan, however, was cut short when his presence was leaked to the media, creating a security risk. He later returned to Afghanistan from 2012 to 2013 as an Apache helicopter co-pilot and gunner, further cementing his commitment to military service. His military career lasted a decade, and he rose to the rank of captain before retiring from active service in 2015. Following his military service, Prince Harry turned his attention to humanitarian work and public service, drawing on the legacy of his mother Diana. In 2006, he co-founded Sentebale, a charity dedicated to helping children in Lesotho and Botswana affected by HIV/AIDS. His charity work expanded over the years to include advocacy for mental health awareness, veterans issues, and the welfare of young people. In 2014, he launched the Invictus Games, an international multi-sport event for wounded, injured, and sick servicemen and women, both serving and veterans. Inspired by his time in the military and his first-hand experience of the physical and psychological challenges faced by veterans, the Invictus Games have since become a significant part of his legacy. The inaugural Games were held in London, and the event has continued to grow, taking place in cities around the world. Prince Harry's personal life has been a significant focus of public and media attention, particularly his relationship with Meghan Markle. Personal life. Their relationship marked a transformative chapter in Harry's life and sparked widespread interest and discussion, not only because it was a royal romance, but also because of the cultural and societal implications it carried. In mid-2016, Prince Harry began dating Meghan Markle, an American actress known for her role in the television series Suits. Their relationship quickly became a topic of intense media scrutiny. The British press, in particular, reported heavily on the romance, often focusing on Meghan's background, ethnicity, and previous marriage, which led to what Harry described as a wave of abuse and harassment. On November 8, 2016, just 8 days after the relationship was made public, Harry issued a rare public statement via his communications secretary. In this statement, he condemned the racial undertones of commentary pieces and the outright sexism and racism of social media trolls and web article comments. This move was seen as an unprecedented step by a royal to protect his partner from media intrusion and reflected Harry's commitment to challenging what he saw as unfair and harmful treatment. Harry and Meghan made their first public appearance together in September 2017 at the Invictus Games in Toronto, an international sporting event founded by Harry for wounded, injured, or sick armed services personnel and veterans. Their public debut further fueled speculation about their relationship's seriousness, and rumors about a possible engagement soon followed. On November 27, 2017, their engagement was officially announced by Harry's father, then Prince Charles. The engagement was met with widespread excitement, though it also brought renewed scrutiny and intense media coverage. The couple's engagement interview was well received, where they spoke openly about their relationship, their shared commitment to humanitarian work, and the challenges they faced in the public eye. On May 19, 2018, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were married in a highly publicized and watched ceremony at St. George's Chapel, Windsor Castle. The event was a global spectacle, watched by millions around the world. Before the wedding, Queen Elizabeth II granted Harry the titles of Duke of Sussex, Earl of Dumbarton, and Baron Kilkeel, making Meghan the Duchess of Sussex upon their marriage. The wedding was celebrated for its blend of British royal traditions and American culture, featuring a gospel choir and a sermon by American Bishop Michael Curry, reflecting the couple's intent to modernize the monarchy and embrace their diverse backgrounds. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex welcomed their first child, Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor, on May 6, 2019. Archie was born at the Portland Hospital in London. Unlike previous royal births, the couple opted for a more private approach, keeping many of the birth details under wraps and departing from the traditional post-birth photo call. This decision marked a clear intention to protect their child's privacy and shield him from intense media scrutiny. Their second child, Lilibet, Lily Diana Mountbatten Windsor, was born on June 4, 2021 in Santa Barbara, California. Named after Harry's grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, whose family nickname was Lilibet, and his mother, Diana, Princess of Wales, Lilibet's birth further solidified the couple's desire to maintain their family's privacy while also honoring their royal roots. From the beginning of their marriage, Harry and Meghan faced numerous challenges related to the media's invasive coverage and the pressures of royal life. These challenges, coupled with ongoing concerns about the impact of this environment on their mental health and well-being, led to the couple's decision to step back from their roles as senior members of the royal family. In January 2020, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex made a shocking announcement that they intended to step back from their roles as senior royals and work towards becoming financially independent while continuing to support the Queen. This decision, often referred to as Megxit, sent shockwaves through the royal family and the public. After discussions with the royal family, it was agreed that they would no longer use their His/Her Royal Highness titles and would no longer represent the Queen in an official capacity. They also agreed to repay the £2.4 million of taxpayer money used to renovate Frogmore Cottage, their official residence in the UK, and would retain it as their private family home when in the country. Following their decision to step back, Harry and Meghan relocated first to Canada and then to the United States, eventually settling in Montecito, California. The move marked a significant departure from royal tradition and was indicative of their desire to live a more independent and private life away from the constraints of royal protocols. In the years since their move, Harry and Meghan have embarked on numerous ventures. They founded Archewell Inc., an organization that focuses on non-profit activities and creative media ventures, and signed deals with Netflix and Spotify to produce content that aligns with their values and interests, such as documentaries, series, and podcasts. These moves signaled their commitment to using their platform to address social issues, promote mental health awareness, and support charitable causes. In March 2021, Harry and Meghan gave a highly anticipated interview with Oprah Winfrey, which aired on CBS. The interview was candid and at times shocking. The couple discussed their reasons for stepping back from royal duties, the lack of support they felt from the firm, a colloquial term for the royal family and its advisors, and the racism and mental health challenges Meghan faced. Harry also spoke openly about the strained relationship with his family, particularly with his father, King Charles, and his brother, Prince William. The interview was viewed by millions worldwide and sparked debates about the British monarchy's future, its handling of race, mental health, and family dynamics. Harry has continued his advocacy for mental health through various platforms. In collaboration with Oprah Winfrey, he co-produced the mental health documentary series The Me You Can't See on Apple TV+, where he shared personal stories of his mental health struggles and emphasized the importance of seeking help and breaking the stigma surrounding mental health issues. Prince Harry's relationship with Meghan Markle has undeniably transformed his life and the public's perception of him. From a young royal who was often portrayed in the media for his rebellious antics, Harry has evolved into a vocal advocate for mental health, social justice, and humanitarian causes. His journey has been characterized by a desire to break free from the confines of royal expectations and redefine his and his family's role in the world. In his memoir Spare, Prince Harry offers a rare glimpse into the life of a royal family member, the Spare. He exposed the complexities, conflicts, and emotional struggles behind the walls of Buckingham Palace. Since stepping down from his royal duties in 2020, Harry has been candid about his experiences, but Spare delves even deeper, offering raw and unfiltered accounts of his life. One of the most striking revelations in the memoir is Harry's admission that he was never allowed to get too close to other members of the royal family. He describes a culture of distance within the family, where emotional barriers were necessary to maintain the institution's public image. This distance extended beyond formal interactions. It permeated personal relationships as well. Harry notes that, as a royal, you are taught to keep a buffer zone not only with the public but also within your own family. He recounts how his brother, Prince William, would often ask him to keep his distance, a request that underscored the deep-rooted traditions and emotional reserve within the family. The older generation of royals, including Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip, adhered strictly to this code of distance. Harry recalls that there was a nearly zero-tolerance prohibition on physical contact, even among family members. Hugs, kisses, and pats on the back were rare, if not absent. On special occasions, there might be a light touch of cheeks, but that was the extent of familial affection. This emotionally detached environment shaped Harry's upbringing and relationships, reinforcing a sense of isolation and a lack of emotional connection. Beyond the culture of distance, Spare sheds light on Harry's tumultuous childhood and adolescence. Growing up in the public eye, he faced intense media scrutiny from a young age, which often amplified his feelings of being an outsider within his family. Harry candidly discusses his experimentation with substance and alcohol as a way to cope with the pressure and his unresolved grief over the loss of his mother, Princess Diana. He describes these moments not as attempts to rebel, but as cries for help from a young man struggling to navigate the harsh realities of royal life. One of the most shocking revelations in Spare is Harry's account of a physical altercation with his brother, Prince William. According to Harry, the confrontation occurred over his relationship with Meghan Markle, which had been a source of tension within the family. William allegedly called Meghan difficult, rude, and abrasive, which led to a heated argument between the brothers. The situation escalated, and William allegedly grabbed Harry by the collar, ripping his necklace and knocking him to the floor. This altercation is emblematic of the deep divisions and unresolved conflicts within the royal family, particularly about Harry's choice of partner and his desire to break away from the constraints of royal life. Harry's revelations in Spare paint a vivid picture of a family struggling with internal discord, emotional distance, and the weight of tradition. His memoir serves not only as a personal account of his life, but also as a critique of the monarchy's rigid structure and its impact on individual members' mental health and well-being. Prince Harry has faced numerous controversies throughout his life, often fueled by intense media scrutiny and public speculation. Controversies. One of the more unusual controversies surrounding him involves an interpretation of a gesture that some have linked to demonic or occult symbolism, especially in light of recent statements by Pope Francis. Pope Francis, known for his progressive views and emphasis on humility, has often spoken about the spiritual dangers of succumbing to vices and temptations. He has emphasized the importance of guarding one's heart and mind against evil, and has warned against fantasizing or engaging in malevolent thoughts or actions. In his talks, the Pope has stated that when people begin to entertain evil thoughts, they can easily become ensnared by them. These warnings are consistent with his message of spiritual vigilance, cautioning against the subtle ways in which the devil can deceive people. The Pope's comments sparked discussions about the nature of temptation and the importance of maintaining spiritual and moral integrity. His views are widely respected within and beyond the Catholic Church, but they have also become a backdrop for some unexpected associations, including the controversy involving Prince Harry. The controversy began in 2017, when a photograph of Prince Harry with former First Lady Melania Trump surfaced. The image, taken during the Invictus Games in Toronto, quickly went viral, but not for the reasons one might expect. In the photo, Harry's hand is positioned peculiarly. His ring and middle fingers, along with his thumb, are tucked inside his jacket, while his pinky and pointer fingers remain exposed. This hand gesture drew significant attention online, with some claiming it resembled signs associated with the devil or occult practices. The hand gesture quickly became the subject of speculation and conspiracy theories. Some internet users and conspiracy theorists suggested that Prince Harry was making a devil's sign, often referred to as the horned hand or mano cornuta. This symbol is sometimes used in modern occult practices and has been historically linked to various meanings, from warding off evil to representing satanic or demonic associations. Others interpreted the gesture as a potential Illuminati sign, adding fuel to existing conspiracy theories about the alleged influence of secret societies over world events and prominent figures. The photograph led to a flurry of discussions on social media platforms, blogs, and conspiracy theory websites, where the image was dissected and debated extensively. Some claimed that the gesture was a subtle signal to those in the know, suggesting a hidden allegiance or message. On the other hand, many found the controversy absurd, dismissing it as a humorous example of internet culture's tendency to sensationalize even the most mundane occurrences. The interpretations of Prince Harry's hand gesture range from the superstitious to the humorous, highlighting the often bizarre intersections between celebrity culture, conspiracy theories, and religious interpretations. Most reasonable interpretations conclude that Harry's hand position was likely a coincidence or an unconscious movement rather than a deliberate gesture with any specific meaning. The controversy surrounding Prince Harry's hand gesture gained further nuance through the analysis of body language experts. Professionals like Patty Wood and Joe Navarro provided more grounded psychological interpretations of the gesture, suggesting it is less about hidden meanings and more about personal comfort and human behavior under stress. Patty Wood, a well-known body language expert, emphasized that while the positioning of Prince Harry's fingers in the photograph could be interpreted as a devil's horn by some, it is more likely to be a protective or self-soothing gesture. She noted that this kind of hand placement is a common comfort cue in body language. When people feel anxious, vulnerable, or uncertain, they often engage in subconscious behaviors that provide a sense of security. For Harry, tucking his fingers inside his jacket and leaving his pinky and pointer fingers exposed could be his way of grounding himself in a stressful environment. Wood's interpretation is rooted in the understanding that body language can often reflect the emotional state of an individual, rather than any overt, deliberate messaging. According to her, this kind of gesture can serve as a comforting barrier between the individual and their surroundings, helping to create a psychological shield in situations where they may feel exposed or under pressure. Joe Navarro, a former FBI agent and expert in nonverbal communication, offered a more cautious view on the interpretation of Prince Harry's hand gesture. He warned against overanalyzing a single photograph, emphasizing that a photo captures just a brief moment in time, which may not accurately represent a person's thoughts or intentions. Navarro argued that attributing any sinister or symbolic meaning to the gesture is speculative at best, as it lacks context and overlooks the possibility of mundane explanations. Navarro's experience as a profiler has made him wary of drawing concrete conclusions from isolated gestures. He suggested that the hand positioning could simply have been influenced by the circumstances of the photo shoot, or the position Harry found himself in at that particular moment. He pointed out that humans often make unconscious movements without any deeper meaning or symbolism, especially when trying to relax their hands or seeking a comfortable posture. This particular hand gesture is not an isolated incident for Prince Harry. He has been photographed making similar gestures in various other situations. For example, while speaking to Royal Air Force recruits in 2010 and at a summer event in London in 2017, Harry's hands were similarly positioned. These repeated behaviors suggest a consistent pattern rather than an intentional attempt to convey a specific message. Patty Wood suggested that these repeated gestures might simply be Harry's way of comforting himself. She noted that, in moments of public attention, especially in high-stress or formal environments, it is not uncommon for individuals to exhibit behaviors that provide psychological comfort. For someone like Harry, who has grown up in the public eye and faced intense scrutiny, such gestures could be habitual, serving as a subconscious means of self-soothing. Both Wood and Navarro pointed out that Prince Harry's hand gestures, along with his facial expressions, often exhibit signs of tension. Navarro emphasized that these could be perfectly normal responses for someone under significant stress, which is a common experience for public figures, particularly members of the royal family. This interpretation aligns with what we know about Prince Harry's life, a continuous series of public appearances, speeches, and interactions that are often scrutinized by the media and the public. Body language, while revealing, is not always definitive. A gesture can have multiple meanings depending on the context, the person, and their emotional state. In the case of Harry, both experts argue that his hand gestures are more likely tied to personal comfort and situational stress rather than anything deliberate or conspiratorial. But that's not all. In 2005, Prince Harry, then 20 years old, became embroiled in one of the most significant controversies of his life, when a photograph of him wearing a Nazi uniform at a private costume party was published on the front page of The Sun, a British tabloid. The headline, "Harry the Nazi," immediately ignited a firestorm of backlash and condemnation from around the world. The young prince's decision to wear a Nazi Afrika Korps uniform, complete with a swastika armband, to a party with an African theme sparked outrage, particularly among Jewish organizations and Holocaust survivors. The timing of the incident added to the outrage, occurring just weeks before Queen Elizabeth was scheduled to host an event honoring Holocaust survivors on the 60th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz. The incident took place at a private party thrown by Harry's friend, where the theme was colonial and native. The choice of this theme itself was controversial and problematic, evoking the painful history of colonialism and exploitation. However, Harry's decision to attend, dressed in a Nazi uniform, was seen as especially offensive and insensitive given the historical significance and atrocities associated with the Nazi regime. The image of Harry in the uniform was taken covertly and leaked to The Sun, leading to immediate and widespread condemnation. The reaction was swift and intense. The story dominated headlines in the UK and globally, and Harry found himself at the center of a significant public relations crisis. Jewish groups, including the Holocaust Educational Trust and the Board of Deputies of British Jews, publicly expressed their deep offense and disappointment. The incident was particularly painful for those with memories of the Holocaust, given the uniform's direct association with the suffering of millions. The backlash against Harry's choice of costume was not limited to Jewish organizations. Political leaders, social commentators, and members of the public were quick to condemn the young prince's decision. Many viewed it as a thoughtless act that demonstrated a lack of awareness and sensitivity, especially from someone in his position. The controversy reached Buckingham Palace, prompting a swift response. The palace released a statement on behalf of Harry, who was third in line to the British throne at the time, expressing regret for his actions. The statement read, "Prince Harry has apologized for any offense or embarrassment he has caused. He realizes it was a poor choice of costume." This apology, however, did little to quell the outrage and criticism. Calls for Harry to visit Auschwitz to gain a deeper understanding of the Holocaust circulated in the media and public discourse. Harry was known for his rebellious streak and had previously been in the news for his behavior. His teenage years had been marked by a series of tabloid scandals, including allegations of underage drinking and substance use. The Nazi uniform incident, however, was a different level of controversy, as it involved not just personal behavior, but an act that many saw as a disrespect to the memory of millions who suffered under the Nazi regime. The incident also occurred at a time when the royal family was under intense scrutiny to modernize and become more in touch with the public. Harry's behavior stood in stark contrast to the expectations of a young royal and the responsibilities associated with his position. The choice to wear such a costume reflected poorly on the royal family and raised questions about Harry's understanding of history, sensitivity, and suitability as a member of the British monarchy. Years later, Prince Harry addressed the scandal more candidly in his 2022 Netflix documentary series Harry and Meghan. He described the decision to wear the Nazi uniform as one of the biggest mistakes of his life, reflecting a deeper sense of personal shame and regret. He admitted he felt so ashamed afterward. All he wanted to do was make it right. His comments in the documentary suggest a recognition of the hurt his actions caused, and a genuine attempt to understand the impact of his choices. Following the incident, Harry reportedly met with Holocaust survivors and representatives of Jewish organizations to better understand the significance of his actions and the pain they caused. This experience seemed to have a profound impact on him, shaping his understanding of responsibility and the need for greater sensitivity and awareness. The scandal also marked a turning point in Harry's public persona, where he began to engage more seriously with social issues and charitable causes. At the time, the incident reinforced the perception that Harry was a wayward royal who failed to grasp the gravity of his actions due to his privileged upbringing. His behavior was seen by many as an example of how privilege can lead to ignorance about historical atrocities and the sensitivities of others. However, as time has passed, Harry's public reflections and apologies indicate an awareness of these criticisms and an understanding that his privilege comes with responsibilities. His willingness to acknowledge his mistakes publicly and engage in dialogue with those affected by his actions suggests a path toward redemption. This controversy became a pivotal moment in Harry's life, shaping his understanding of his role as a member of the British royal family and his responsibilities to the public. It also catalyzed his evolving relationship with the media, public life, and his ongoing efforts to carve out a path based on a commitment to the causes he believes in. The lessons learned from this incident have undeniably contributed to the person he is today, a prince who acknowledges his mistakes and seeks to move forward with greater awareness and purpose. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.